You can start with.
I can start? Okay. 9 o'clock, we'll call this meeting of Locke County Highway Committee to order. This meeting and all meetings of this committee are open to the public. Proper notice has been posted and given to the media in this court in accordance with the Wisconsin statutes of the citizenry. May be aware of time, place, and agenda of this meeting. We'll call finds Fred missing. I need a approval on the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion made and second to approve the agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. And approval of the previous meeting of 10/16 of 25.
Second.
I have a motion made and second to approve the minutes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public comment. Okay, we have nobody here. And number one,
All right.
Casey, you better.
All right. Good morning, everyone. We've got our agenda item that talks about payment batch register approvals. And so welcome Chair Morat to our meeting and Supervisor Federwicks as well. They're here for the end of it. So we'll start off with the 4 payment batch registers that we need approval for. My first one is dated October 17th, 2025. It's been passed around and it is in the amount of $367,787.23. A big item out of this one was the paving of our County Highway N project, accounted for about $250,000 of it. So I need approval for our payment batch register of $367,787.23 for. Move to approve.
I have a motion made to approve. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, our next payment batch register dated October 24th, 2025 is in the amount of $215,346.80. Again, we're shouldering now on County Highway N and you've got your final last paving invoices that are coming in. There's a lot going on in our system, so especially in the fall when we're wrapping up our big paving jobs, they get to be pretty pricey.
Need a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Any? Dick? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, the third of the 4 of them is payment batch registered dated October 31st, 2025. This is in the amount of $172,246.22. Right around $100,000 of this invoice was billed back to Northeast Asphalt to our bituminous account, which is work we did in the town of Caledonia, some of them on our state RMA, we had some wedging. And then County Highway N again was a big part of it.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion made and second to approve. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And then the last one I've got for approval today is dated November 7th, 2025. This payment batch register is in the amount of $162,154.05. A lot of miscellaneous things. We received a lot of salt purchases for our county sheds. And then there was a little bit more paving again. A lot of little miscellaneous things that add up real quick. Second.
I have a motion made second to approve. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
We go through this,
Motion carried.
we go through this prior to the meeting.
I don't know if you're interested in looking at how we did that.
To get it right. So,
Yep, we don't advertise them on the screen like we did and go line item by line item because we're keeping as much financial information off of YouTube as we can.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The next agenda item we have is number 2, which is our 2026 routine maintenance agreement with the Wisconsin DOT. Mike Kretschmer, if you'd like to introduce yourself and what your involvement is in the RMA.
Sure.
So, yeah, from DOT, obviously, I work out of Rapids office. I am the operations section manager for the North Central region. So I work out of Rapids mostly, but I also cover the Rhinelander office. So we got 18 counties, all the way up to Iron County, all the way down to Green Lake County. So, yeah, my involvement, I don't, at my level, I don't get entirely into the weeds of the RMA, but certainly I've got the maintenance section and the traffic section unit in our office, so manage those two units, so.
So every year, the Wapaka County signs a routine maintenance agreement with the state of Wisconsin to maintain the state system next year. And so it gets broken down line item by line item on where they're looking to invest money in mowing and potholes and concrete repairs and siding and winter maintenance. I brought winter maintenance up on the spreadsheet behind you, just to kind of show you something we've been noticing at Wapaka Highway for some time. If we date back to the year 2020, highlighted in yellow is our county highway costs up until our last invoice in October of 2020,
That's the full year.
the full year.
Mhm.
Okay, 527,000. 2021, you can see our winter plowing maintenance costs on state highways was 674,000. And then you can kind of see we're at 791,000, and then it brings us up year to date for 2025. So we did have one snow event, just, was it 2 days ago now?
That's not on here.
That isn't in there yet, but you can see that as of today, our spring snow plowing in January, February, March, a little April is over, pushing that $700,000 mark. On average, our last 5 years were $725,140. But our budget is only 641,000. So every year, other than the year 2020, we're well way below for that winter activity. And that's something Mike and I in the state have talked about for years here, and it I believe needs to get addressed, because every year we run over in this category. And when we run over, yeah, that's important to understand winter. But they look at the whole ball of wax, like what is the ultimate amount we signed an RMA dollar amount for? And if we overrun in winter, then we start cutting the maintenance that we perform during the summer months, which are your potholes, your concrete repairs, some of your mowing and sign replacements. And so we really are fortunate as Wapaka County maintains a lot of townships. We get a lot of town work. This year, we've done a little over $4 million worth of town work. So I can take my crews and my staff and those routes those personnel that were assigned to maintain the state roads, I can take them off of the state's budget and apply them to helping us get our town work done. Which is excellent, but it just seems like every year we're underfunded in the winter maintenance category, and we're always asking for help on improving that where we can. And my vision was a couple of years ago, our suggestion was separate winter budget from everything else. You're not touching all of our permanent maintenance items. And if you overrun in winter, I don't know what to say. It is what it is. Our guys are pretty frugal when it comes to the right amount of salt. We're out there at the right times. We're not wasting money on the state system, winter maintenance wise. And it's hurting our summer operations and keeping them 13 guys busy that plow the state route. During the summer months when they say, don't charge any money to us because we're broke. Well, why you broke? Winter's hurting you every year. So that's something Mike and I have talked about in the other room a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So again, the 641 is dictated by the state.
The state tells us what we're getting.
That's what,
But Mother Nature doesn't abide by 641. And our average has always been in the 700s. So that was a vision we had, was to stay higher.
So how do you get it increased? I mean, I know you can argue it back and forth forever, but
Yeah, the way it works, man, obviously,
I mean, do you put inflation in there and all that stuff?
yeah, we try to. I mean, what DOT does is we have a model, basically, an LOS model that says, okay, this many miles of roads, this many facilities, this many bridges, and basically it comes back and says, this is how much money you really should have to provide the maintenance for that whole system. That's broken down for every county, depending on the, amount of miles and infrastructure. If that was funded at 100%, we'd be able to do a lot more maintenance. It is currently not funded at 100%. Legislators have chosen to move money, everybody's asking for that pot of money. From a state standpoint, there's been a ton of money that's gone into improvement. I can talk a little bit about that. There's been a ton of money that's gone into local improvement. So maintenance has maybe not been funded like we'd like it to. We've made the argument over the years to continue. Maintenance funding has been very flat since 2015. We did get a slight increase this year. That translates to about a 3% increase for Wapaka County this year on the RMA, which, barely covers inflation, if at all. So we've been trying to do other things from funding. There's other pots of money that we can pull from. Last year, we did get some supplemental DMA money that was kind of added to the RMA. We also just found out that from a statewide perspective, performance-based maintenance, which is another pot of money that, we use to do maintenance work. That's funded at the same level as last year. So it's about 13.5 million. Again, for our region, that translates to about 2.1 million. And we kind of look at priorities, whether there's, needs in Wapaka County or elsewhere, and we'll try to move that money where we see the biggest needs. The other thing that we've been significantly increasing as a region is our use of LFA dollars too. That comes straight out of the improvement side. Like I said, our improvement dollars have been increasing. We've got I'll touch on that in just a second. But we've been trying to utilize some much bigger LFA dollars. Back up a couple of years, 3-4 years, we really didn't do much in LFAs, hardly at all, maybe $100,000 worth of work, a lot of small stuff. We're pushing that up to roughly $2 million, $1.5 million to $2 million. That depending on how our improvement, how the letting, if prices fluctuate, go up or down, if we have let savings, we can sneak in some of those LFA dollars to be able to, have the counties do specific work for us. So we're trying to take advantage of that and then doing some more substantial maintenance work through the LFA program too.
Good question. What's the LFA?
Local force account. Yeah, it allows us to use improvement dollars, through the county forces. There's some rules on it, but we can do about $150,000. There's a cooperative agreement or agreement between the road builders and counties. But that allows us to do a certain amount of maintenance work, certain types of maintenance work with local force account dollars. So we've been trying to ramp that up. Obviously, Casey has shared concerns with maintenance. We've seen it. Obviously, we know the costs are going up. But yeah, if we have a more significant winter, more severity, and we track that every year, kind of funding is generally kind of based on a 5-year average of what we feel winter maintenance, winter severity is. So if it goes up or down, that certainly impacts, like Casey said, the rest of the funds that go through the year, and they are tied together. We've talked a lot about, potentially separating that. There's some advantages and disadvantages to doing that, but that's just the way it is right now, that our overall RMA budget's all kind of tied to winter, so it's really dependent a lot of times on winter is expensive. It's very expensive. So.
Just one more question before I go to your other details.
Yeah.
Do you have discretion, or if you want to clip the right of ways for grass?
We have a policy that kind of determines how much we can, do as far as mowing.
Because you don't want trees growing up.
We generally do every 3 years. We have generally like a brushing. We'll do more brushing and stuff. Not every year. We try to cut the trees back. Again, kind of based on funding, we sometimes pull that back too and focus on roadway out. Like, you know, there's potholes and other things that we need to address. Kind of pull that funding in towards the roadway and maybe ignore some of those other things. But we do operate generally on a 3-year cycle to do more wider, more brushing, you know, but mowing not. Generally, we don't mow everything. Or, you know, there's a clear path on how much we do mow. And again, that's, you know, that some of that is dependent on, you know, our cooperative agreement with DNR too, and how much we should be mowing, you know, I mean, you know, there's environmental protections for bees and, you know, other, you know, other things, you know, so. Yeah, so I mean, it's always, there's a balance.
But go to Appleton lot, go on 15. Get a brand new highway, pretty, and you got grass that's that high, you know. I'm thinking, come on, people, can't you, you know?
Our budget.
And then it's all weeds, so that which makes, you're gonna have weeds again next year because they're gonna reseed. And I'm thinking, can't you cut it the first year and need a little rain power to make it work? But maybe not in your district, I don't know. And the other thing that I get is supposedly we had $6 billion surplus in the state of Wisconsin. Instead of sending me a $500 check that costs $600 to make, why don't you just put this back out there on a per population basis and give somebody, the county, the towns, and somebody. I mean, that's too efficient, that's too simple, but I mean, when you have $6 billion, I mean, yes, you need a reserve, but that's ridiculous to have that much money. And we're fighting for peanuts on this end of the situation. Okay, I'm done.
I can ask,
Oh, no,
I can
okay.
ask Mike one more question.
Sure.
So you're dealing with the state, not the federal government for 45 and Highway 10?
I mean, a lot of our funding obviously comes from the federal side.
And how much control do you have over that?
Myself, about that much.
Yeah. No.
I mean, that's where I'm hearing it. Like I called Casey this summer one time on Highway 45. I mean, a lady called me and said, the stuff is so high, they're gonna have an accident. Well, I think Houston went out there and cut it, but.
Yeah, our mowing policy, you know, we generally do mowing once a year, again, just budget reasons too. If we hold them doing one mowing, we do safety mowing. I mean, if we see safety issues, especially at intersections, if there's sight vision issues, we will go out and, you know, work with the county and say, yeah, let's do some safety mowing. But generally, yeah, we're kind of restricted to doing one mowing a year. And if it's, you know, we've had a couple of wet summers. We've definitely noticed the last couple of summers with the amount of kind of consistent rain. Yeah, the weeds are growing. That, yeah, becomes troublesome.
Part of the problem here is the deer population. When you got that tall grass, they can be right on the edge of the road and you don't even know they're there.
Yeah.
And they step out in front of you and you don't even have time to take your foot off the gas. So, yeah, that's.
The other comment when we were at Stratford, they no longer are waiting to the road to deteriorate to the way to the end. They said now they want to start at like 7 years and start maintaining it and build it back up before it gets right down to the bottom, you know. And I thought, yes, that works, but we still got way too many roads that are at the bottom and
Yeah, you know, and like I said, I'll talk about just a little bit about our improvement program. I mean, for years, you know, it's always there's competition obviously throughout the state. There's needs everywhere.
yeah.
For years, the program was generally somewhat influenced by the amount of traffic. You know, we've got a lot of rural roads that just, you know, they just don't have the traffic, so
Right,
they don't
yeah.
prioritize as well as some of the others around the state that have more traffic needs. That has switched relatively recently. We've, you know, are modeling and how that programming gets kind of decided. They're not only pulling in traffic data, but they're now pulling in and more of a emphasis on ride quality. So that helps prioritize some of those lower volume roads that are just falling apart, but don't have the traffic, so.
Yeah.
So our region over the next several years, our old allocation has generally been about 70, upper 70 million, 65 to about 75 million per year, per fiscal year. Starting in next year, we're jumping up to about 110 to 115 million. So very significant increase. We've already, our programming section has been very aggressive, very busy over the last couple of months here because of that increase in allocation. We've moved about 90 projects forward. And we're adding about another 25 projects. So I kind of, I shared it before, what that means for Wapaka County. I just got a couple of these, but this information is out there. It's on our website. You can take a look. And you can take a look at, but that's all the roadway work that's coming up over the next few years. So obviously that'll help on the maintenance side too. If you get there with an improvement project, it'll take care of a lot of our maintenance needs. So.
Next year, Highway 45 around New London is getting redone.
Yes.
And the intersection of D and 54 is getting done by Walgreens in New London. They're gonna do a section of Highway 22 from Bear Lake Campground all the way to Manawa, Highway B. And then they're gonna do a segment of US Highway 10 is getting replaced.
Even 45 of them.
45 from Marion to Clinton.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of busy.
All 4 lanes at that project?
That's a full pavement replacement.
Okay.
It still always seems Wapaka County's last. Portage County gets fixed, Outagamie County gets fixed, and Wapaka County's always last on the list. Our roads will always work on the state highway.
Oh, US 10. This segment was built in 1999. It hasn't had a major infrastructure repair on it.
And it could use it.
I was in the county next door as an inspector, built that one in 2004, and they've done multiple concrete replacements on it. So it's kind of last, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we are last.
Yeah, for sure.
Seen it for
Here's
years.
why we guys,
Like I had said to him, Mike, I had said to him earlier, how are they gonna fix from Bear Lake Corners to Manawa? I wish they would fracture the Smith like they did on 96 from 45 to Appleton. When they fractured that,
reflective cracking didn't come back.
it didn't come back. There's no maintenance. Maintenance costs money. Okay, and I wish they would do that more. Fracture their Smith. It may cost you for that 3-mile stretch. It might, I don't know. I kind of lost what it cost now for fracture. It might cost $700,000-800,000. But the maintenance in the end is gone.
Yeah,
Do it right the first time.
when I first started here, they milled Highway 54 to New London, a section of it, and it's in the same condition as when we started 8 years ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a,
And we're even milling
I
bumps up.
blamed Dan always on the Walker deal because he said he was all for 10-year fixes. That's when I worked at the highway. He wanted the more 10-year fixes. Now, I don't know if it's true, but he was for 10-year fixes. But it costs us more in the end.
So from here, Mike and I are going to sign the RMA agreement. They get sent to me digitally, so there's nothing for you gentlemen to sign. I go on to NPM, I download it, and then I click submit, sign, but I'd like to have approval to assign or to approve the 2026 RMA. That's what Mike is here.
Because I couldn't see.
But that's might have Mike thought. He might have some more words for us yet here. So
Yeah, no, unless there's other question, I don't.
No, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, total RMA for Wapaka County this year, 2,119,500. It's an increase of 96,000 over last year.
That's all categorized as to what gets spent for.
To maintain the state highways in Wapaka County, yes. I think when I started here, we were at 1.9 million and then it got froze for 4 years and then there was a couple increases, so. It sounds good, but they froze it for so many years that it don't make sense that,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah, it takes forever to catch up.
yeah. They break it out into different categories, asphalt roadways, concrete roadways, shoulder maintenance, winter snow plowing, any structures we need to maintain. Minor ones, I guess, culverts, mowing. They've taken out roadside, we don't have any rest areas anymore in Wapaka County that we maintain, the Manawan one's gone, one in 54 over by.
Barn,
The
yeah.
Brown Barn is gone, and the one on 45 by Bear Creek is gone.
And Marion's gone.
Yeah, so they don't invest in that anymore. And then there's also some involvement, there's some money budgeted for Hank Mitchell and Greg Floor's time. So them are our patrol superintendents that manage the state roads in Wapaka County with the DOT's leg man. They've got $163,900 allocated for their wages
45% of
and vehicles.
45%.
Yeah, and then the county highway department accounts for the other 55% of their wages. State covers 45 of theirs. The state also participates in things that are in the RMA, which include like salt storage and equipment storage and winter readiness availability. There's a lot of that stuff that they help contribute, equaling $271,000 that you don't see in the RMA. And then you also give us a lot of LFA, PDM, DMA type projects that help supplement, keep our guys busy during the summer, which is our mission.
Salt shed funding, salt is not in the RMA, that's, separate funding for, repair of salt sheds, replacement of salt sheds, again, that's kind of a competing basis around the state.
If something fails so bad on a state system and they're out of a budget to fix it, and we identify it as a safety concern, then I basically say, go fix it, guys. I don't care what it costs. We did that this last fall, where we had some significant blowouts on 10. And our state legman says there's no money, don't fix them. And I'm like, no, we hold the liability as the contractor overseeing these. We're fixing them. And so we went out there and closed the lanes down. That ran us over like another $50,000 on our DMA, but they had to get done because we couldn't even plow across them. And then trucks were blowing their tires out on 10, hitting them blowouts right there by Anderson Road and River Road and that. So there's a little bit of jurisdiction and leeway that they're pretty flexible when we overrun our winter budget. They're pretty flexible on safety concerns.
Yeah, definitely. Safety is priority over budget. So, if we have needs, I mean, we had a bad winter ice storm last year come in the northern counties. We got extra funding for that. The communication between the counties, it helps obviously to have really good communication when we know there's needs, there's issues. We can try to allocate some money and move money around to where, especially if it's, like I said, if it's a safety need.
We can't go on strike and tell you we're not gonna do this until you give us more money.
Well, I can't say you can't.
Okay, I need a motion to.
I do have one, but are
Okay,
we,
go ahead.
is Wapaka County considered under overrun as other counties?
Yeah, we're running about 8% over, between all the counties. I mean, we've been trying to pull that back a little bit. But yeah, if we have a standard winter, November, generally funding our predicted funding for the RMA generally goes up in November and December, just because those winter costs. November has been kind of running, fairly mild, so we're probably gonna get some savings out of that, but yeah, I think overall as a region, we're kind of projected to be about 8% over our budget right now, so, which.
Our state work in
Where it is.
2024 accounted for 18% of our workload. So 42% of our workload was town, village, cities, 18% was the state, and the remaining amount was on our county system. Some counties are at 30%, 35% of their overall workload because they got low staffs, they're maintenance counties. And a lot of the roads had the local programs come through and fix all their state highways like we discussed yesterday. Some counties, all their highways are fixed, but they didn't have very many.
You need a motion to accept state's recommendation. Ken,
I'll second it.
Jim, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Those are complaints that I hear too, as far as what I'm.
No, we want to hear about those. And then,
No.
Casey's been good to work with, very good to work
It's like I
with.
said, ever since Walker pushed that 10-year meeting. Let the go through that and part. I saw things. It's very picture, but just like that.
Yeah, we definitely were on a no expansion, just maintain our existing facilities, and we're starting to, now there is some growing funding. We are starting to get back into the bigger pavement replacements and stuff like that. So it's good to see.
Now I don't know, up there, town of Grant, that's actually Shawano County, but yes, Swamp Road is getting the agriculture,
A-RIP?
ARIP. Is that getting more funding?
Yeah, I didn't bring those numbers with me,
Okay.
but I know our local program has massively increased. The amount of funding that's flowing into like ARIP, LRIP, structures, 20, some of the smaller culverts and stuff like that. Yeah, there's been a lot of funding that's from a state perspective that has kind of gone on
Okay.
both sides, so.
So what's the movement on the bridges under 20 feet doing the big culverts in there? I know they was doing the inventory and the inspection, and now where are we at in getting some money down to the local level?
Casey, maybe you know, it's a little bit more on that.
In the year 2024, all the inventories needed to be conducted. In the year 2025, all the inspections need to be done. They aren't done with 2025, so they don't have all the culverts rolled into how many need to get fixed in the state until January 1st rolls around. Then the state 6 to 20 committee is gonna look at it and say, all right, we got this many. How much money do we want to stick forward to it? So they're saying about 130 million for ARIP, and then taking 30 million out of it and stick it into the 6 to 20 program. But that isn't final because they don't have all the inspections completed yet to know which ones have all failed.
That was my understanding too, is that 30 million is kind of allotted for that, but yeah, needs aren't exactly sorted out yet, so.
Okay.
We got a bunch of these little bridges here, so.
You must have had a bridge inspection in your township.
We don't
Reads
have,
the town chairman.
That's
That county.
we don't have that many.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yep,
No, appreciate
we
you.
all get our frustration hollered at.
that's-
I mean, you got hollered at, but,
Okay.
and your hair is not quite as, it's shorter than mine, but,
I can leave these pronouns.
okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
You too. Yeah, Casey.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Good to see you. Nice meeting all of you.
All right, our next agenda item is number 3, which is the Wisconsin County Highways Association Winter Conference. Training and training for the engineering specialists. So this coming January, I'd like to get permission for Greg Floor and myself to attend the conference in La Crosse. It's not gonna be over in the Dells at the Chula Vista like it has the last 10 years. They're moving it to La Crosse, so I need permission for that from the committee. And then also annually Kyle Fisher attends the Surveyors Conference, which is at the Kalahari. What that does for Kyle is not only bring him up to speed with what is new in the survey industry, but also allows him to sit in little seminars and sessions that he can collect professional development credits to help him keep his survey license. I don't want to do that without approval of the committee. That's my goal.
I think they're very important to do
Yeah.
and keep going, so I need a motion to take care of that.
I will make that motion.
Jim,
I'll second.
and second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Okay, this next one is something we talked about at the county board meeting briefly here last week, Wednesday, here at the highway shop. In our big break room. Justin Geiger was present, and I said that at the highway committee, we are going to pass a resolution thanking him for his service. And so I'll read it again. Wapaka County Highway Committee Resolution 2025-003, thanking highway employee Justin Geiger for his service to his country. Justin served as mill pay chief or staff sergeant at Camp Beering, Kuwait, whereas Equipment Operator 1 Justin Geiger was called to active duty for a deployment to Kuwait from February of 25 to October of 2025. And whereas Justin served as the rank of staff sergeant and was an asset to the United States Army Administration located at Camp Beering, Kuwait, under the command of the 153rd Finance Battalion. And whereas Justin returned to employment with the county in November of 2025 after a successful tour of duty. Now therefore, it be resolved by the Wapaka County Highway Committee that the County of Wapaka hereby extends thanks and appreciation to Justin Geiger for his service to his country as a staff sergeant in our military forces, recommended for introduction by the Wapaka County Highway Commissioner and Highway Committee.
Move to approve.
Okay. Motion made to second to approve, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried, and I think that's awesome.
Well, you got there for the hot weather too.
Our next agenda item is service agreements, which I believe we're gonna take off next meeting because we've got all of our service agreements satisfied of what we're doing with our village and town customers. So this last one, we discussed what we were gonna do with the village of Embarrass. We were gonna still service them, but we aren't gonna send an individual vehicle into their village. It's gonna get done with the surrounding vehicles that come off of State Highway 22 or Highway C and Y, or the town truck that comes into the town of Matson. There's a bunch of trucks there already. We can pretty much knock out what we think we need to do in Embarrass with the 3 trucks that are there. So we're still gonna service them, but not like we used to in the past. We met with Jerry Eggert in the village president, board, chief, chair, and he was fine with it. He just wants to retain us as their service provider. So the village of Embarrass is up on the board. They have 2.66 miles. We're asking for them to spend at least $3,990 per year over the next 3-year contract to be on board with us. It also stemmed a conversation that we need their summer work, road repair work, etc. And they got projects for us, I guess. So we'll see where that ends up after winter gets over and they make their decisions on what they can afford for 2026.
Ray, you got anything to add?
No, just as long as you keep it all toward Embarrass instead of town of Matson.
This has been the issue, is that the villages, they hire for snow plowing, but they don't have any other work for the summer month
Right.
at all.
Is that easy to keep track of how much you do?
It's all financial. Did we get a report? Municipalities with service agreements on what we did compared to previous year?
Fine.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Take it off the line.
All right, our next, so we had a motion, we approved it.
No, I'm gonna do both of them at the same time, so here's Helvetia.
Both at this, okay. So for multiple years, I should say, let's back up when I had first began here a decade ago. We plowed the town of Helvetia. We did good services with them. They hired us for a lot of summer work. And there was a change of command at their town board, had different visions, weren't positive on we were gonna be with them. So they basically said, we don't want you to plow for us. They had a local contractor come in and do it for a couple of years. That local contractor has now said, I'm not going to do it anymore. He won't leave them hanging this winter, but the town of Helvetia wants to get back with Wapaka County Highway as they did quite a few years ago. And so we discussed it over and over again and agreed at last highway committee to send them our service agreement for signature. They sent it back and agreed to it. And therefore, we are now going to be the snowplow service provider, not this winter, but the following winter. So they have it on paper that they're all lined up for 2026, 2027 winter to work with us for another 3 years. They already have $150,000 job lined up for us during the summer of next year, which is huge. So thank you, town of Helvetia. Let's keep it coming. So I need a motion to approve starting a service agreement with the town of Helvetia January first next year, not for snow plowing, but all of their summer stuff, which will then kick into winter snow plowing in that coming fall.
Any?
Second.
Oh,
Dick got it.
Nick got a second?
You,
Motion made and
you
second.
understand how this works, so we gotta have some,
Yes, we do.
okay, so this. What we-
I have a motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay,
A lot of people on the county board don't understand how this works.
My only question or concern would be how much town work can you do without interfering with your county roads?
That next year is gonna be rather easy, as this year was. This year,
You don't have that much planned or what?
well, we had a bunch of STP jobs this year,
Oh,
which is
okay.
money our budget goes to. Highway H south of Fremont, County Highway W north of Reedfield. Our budget was paying for a lot of those jobs, but our guys couldn't do the work.
Right.
So that's why we were able to do a lot of town work this year.
Okay,
Next year, we backed off our transportation services budget by over $1 million, which we'll talk about later. Although I don't have the budget to perform it, but I got the guys. So there's always that balance every other year. It kind of works its way out.
okay, thank you.
okay,
All right, our next agenda item is the County Highway AA well. I wanted to bring this one up as it is important for the highway committee to understand it. Lee and Dick Rowan, Jim, were you involved with the closing of the one on W by Mansky Road?
No, I
When
wasn't.
Supervisor Fleece was here.
I was.
We've got the same situation located off of County Highway AA. And so I
Is
took
this an artesian or is it a well?
It's an artesian
Artesian.
well that originates somewhere underneath AA. So the story goes, this has been here forever. People pull alongside of the road. If we could show the big picture of both sides of the road at the same
Is it
time.
in the road right away?
Yes. It's in the road right of way. Yeah, there we go. So if we blow that one up. Okay. So you can see on the left-hand side is the bulk tank, cow tank, that there was a picture where the water discharges for the public to fill up their jugs. That is outside the road right away by a couple feet. It's on private property. It's always been like that. No one really drew the line at 33 feet where it's gonna be. On the right side of the road where the mini excavator sits is where the well doesn't originate, but it comes up to the ground. It has a blow off on it. And then it goes back down underneath County Highway A and it discharges over there. And so our guy was mowing this year and he hit that 1.5-inch old galvanized pipe right behind that mini excavator. When he hit it, he cracked it. And when he cracked it, it started bubbling up on this side of the road and flooding out the curb and gutter. It was still discharging water in that cow tank, but not as much because most of it was coming up through the curb and the subgrade and all that. And so we had to make a decision. Do we want to abandon it like we did on W by Mansky, or do we want to try to repair it? And so I reached out, first of all, to the city of Wyega, which is in the city of Wyega, to say, this is in our road right away. What do you want to do, Mayor? He's like, let me take it to a council meeting. So they all chose to keep it. I then contacted our public health officer, Jed Wolf, who really looks at wells testing and checks compliance. Are they full of nitrates or starts with an A, some type of arsenic. Yep, starts with are these even being tested, and are we allowing the public to use wells that originate from county land? He's like, we gotta close it. So we got Wyega wanting to keep it open, the public health officer wanting to close it, and the history of us closing one that originated on W by Mansky years ago. So I called up Wells by Welch, who helped us dig into this one, and he said he dug down about 2 feet right behind his backhoe. He found a pipe, and then the pipe does a T and it goes underneath County Highway A, and it originates somewhere down underneath County Highway AA. So he wasn't able to fill it full of bentonite and actually plug it and stop it. Rather, he went 2 feet below the surface and he just capped it, and it's temporarily not flowing anymore. So when we redo County Highway A someday, we want to rip the whole works out and be done with the well on County Highway AA. People are always there using it, right behind that cattle tank. Where people are getting their water behind it is a little community garden that they're using, but it's in a swamp and we're just gonna be, I don't want the liability, the public health office doesn't want the liability, and we don't need to have wells that aren't being tested, feeding the public that originate on our liability
Yeah.
standpoint. So I wanted to bring that to the committee and say, I'm done with it. If you agree, otherwise I gotta figure out how to fix this thing and make it work, so.
It's arsenic probably.
You ain't gonna get the arsenic out. So I would like your approval to abandon that well, just as I've already kind of did ahead of time, but I needed to stop it from flooding the road because it was freezing during the winter.
I think it's detriment to the road. It's
Well,
just
it is.
wet all the time.
If someone wants a well, they can pound an artesian well on their private property next to that battle tank, but it is a staple of that community. People are there all the time, fill it up, which
Through the Muckle, I know how they are. They came from Hortonville all over to get.
Found down a point on your own land there in that area. They want it so bad, I guess. So I'll make that a motion to abandon that.
Also.
Have a motion
I
made
got a
and
question on that. Where is that water gonna go? If it's an artesian well, it's gonna come up somewhere. Is there a creek or a marsh or something around there that's gonna feed into, or they're gonna come up and then run onto the road?
right, that's the question. I don't
I
know.
mean, so you have to run a line somewhere instead of just capping it so that you can drain it out somewhere?
They
Or
dug-
run a French drain, so.
They dug 6 feet underneath that curb and gutter to try to find its origination and didn't get to it here early last week. And he says, we just capped it because we didn't want to open up your highway come November, so.
Well, chances are that road could bust up from that water sitting underneath it.
It
It
could
sounds like you have to find the origin and get rid of it.
But if it's capped on the one side, then it's not flowing to the tank on the other side, correct?
correct. It shut the tank flow off for right
Mhm.
now.
It's gonna find its own way to get out of there though, and
Yeah.
that's your problem, is you have to get rid of that water somewhere.
We would like to create ditches along that whole section where the curb and gutter is. And then if we just need to put a pipe underneath the roadway to get it to the marsh on the north side, we would. But we didn't want to chase it with this time of year. We just thought.
Yeah, right.
Let's close it.
Right.
Next spring, we'll,
Winter.
that road is so blown up already. That way is that.
basically we're addressing it as we get to
We
it.
did a temporary fix, so it wasn't flooding the road for right now.
Yeah, so we have to put a culvert in there to run up to the lower line.
If it starts coming up through the subgrade, like Bernie mentioned, yeah.
I have a motion made and second. I think we voted right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Yeah, I know, I hate to see them go. Arsenic.
Our next one is supervisor's report. Any conferences or seminars the group may have attended that you want to talk on? Right? Number 8 is personnel. Currently, we have recruited and interviewed for an equipment operator 2. They did accept the position. They're looking to start December 1st, so we do have a new employee coming on board. That's gonna basically fill us up to satisfy our plow routes. We still have vacancies in our manifest of employees, but we don't have plow routes for them, so we're keeping them open right now. They eventually could just get closed permanently. But we don't have enough plow routes for them right now, so. The other thing going on with employee updates is I've been just getting hammered by our employees asking about what's come about this wage increase. Is it true? Is it not true? I said, that's up to the HR department. They said they were gonna send out the letters to notify.
That's that
the
man right
employees.
there.
So
It's coming,
that's what I told
After the
employees.
first of the year, is that,
pretty much where we're at,
okay, so,
but I mean, it's gotta go through the process, so.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, but they,
Mandy and Greg Floor and Mark Korth and Chris and myself and Hank, our salaried staff, sat down and talked all about it. We had a beautiful spreadsheet that Greg Floor created that allowed it to look at what they were making in 2024, 25, what their normal wage increase, step increase would be if we didn't make any changes, and then what we're doing in 2026. We tried our best to get everyone right around that $2 an hour wage increase. by moving them up a grade rather than bumping them over in steps. And we broke down each of the one of the employees and looked at them and did our best to make it a one-shot deal for the equipment operators and the technicians in the field. So there's still 13 employees that I don't want, I'm not advocating for wages, but everyone says everyone got a wage, that isn't true. Which would include myself and Hank and Greg and Mark, and Chris and Kyle and Jan and Amy and Sue and Thomas and Greg Crogwell. There's a lot of people here, management, we didn't ask for it, nor do we want it, but we were advocating for the CDL positions where we were having a hard time finding qualified staff and bringing them people in, so we're hoping this helps us long term.
You don't have a CDL?
What's that?
You don't have a CDL?
I have a CDL.
Oh, you would have came underneath that.
Well, all my foremen are there to help plow snow. All our mechanics have CDL, so we're good. We'll get the work done.
So you think everybody is accepting this then, and we should, after the first year, keep everybody happy or not yet?
It's just the first step. HR just, we agreed on it a few months ago.
Yeah. Well, I missed a meeting, so I'm a little bit behind on that, so. As long as everybody,
It'll work itself through.
okay, all right.
Which is good for our recruitment. Hopefully it settles down a little bit. Who knows? Project updates. So this is where I bring up the highway commissioners report. We talk about things in the highway commissioners upcoming schedule, which Thanksgiving's right around the corner next week. So good luck deer hunting if you go. December 3rd, that's where Sue has coordinated with our towns and our municipalities, MISIP committees to meet, and we're gonna go through all of the applications that came in. I went and visited all of them, I believe now, and they're all legit applications, including the town of Matson's. They're all legit. Now we need to rank them. We rank them based off of whether or not they got awarded one in the past, and does mileage come into play with any of that? No. Just if they've got one in the past, try to spread the funds around. So then committees will look at what we've got. December 10th is our finance committee meeting. We do meet on December 11th with the highway safety committee. Lee, I think you liked attending that if you could.
Okay.
Just to see about accidents, incidences, and how we're trying to correct it with training. December 12th, if you would like to come, please respond back to Sue. December 12th is our Christmas party again at the Cedar Springs Golf Course. Bring yourself and a spouse and maybe a few girlfriends if you want to.
I also was gonna ask that.
Yeah,
2 girlfriends or just one?
yeah, so we're
Plus one.
we're
Plus one, okay.
plus one. So we're looking at December 12th for that at Cedar Springs. 5:30, we'll start and then sit down at 6 and eat somewhere there.
It says 5, but depends on how thirsty you are.
Yeah.
If I donate some maple syrup, can we put a sticker under somebody's plate and?
Sure.
Yeah, have a little fun game at that date.
I will I'll talk to you, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always fun. I bring some wreaths and stuff.
Yeah, instead of giving it to Casey and his wife, I'll donate it to the older. Okay,
December 15th is, we're sending some employees to chainsaw training in Portage County. Some guys that we just hired have probably more experience than our current employees coming from that tree cutting outfit. December 16th is the county board meeting, and then we'll have our next, highway committee meeting December 18th. If that's all right. So highway committee meeting here at 9 AM, December 18th. Talked about HR stuff. We talked about our safety committee. In the shop, trucks are being prepped for winter. We're almost complete. We're this close to being complete. We talked a little bit about that at our management meeting on Monday. In our field operations, we're continually working at that wetland mitigation bank, prepping the soil for next year's trees, which they're all ordered. There's like 70,000 trees that are ordered for next year to get put in phase 2. The town of Caledonia's Bean City Park has been a huge project for our department. I think they're putting in storm sewer today, and then they're gonna bury a water main or not a main, but a water service line next week from a shelter into a splash pad to service that splash pad only. So Our guys have been busy on,
Is that the name now, Bean City Park? Or you just do that?
must be. I thought they called it Gritzmacher Park.
Smacker.
Yeah, I think it's Gritzmacher Park.
I just see it, Bean City Park.
Yeah. So not only is it being, donations from the Gritzmacher family, but the Greenways Committee had some money involved in that as well. So it isn't just.
Okay.
And
Extra grant.
Yes, the grant, how much too, yeah.
Another $400,000 grant.
excellent project for our crews. The sand plant has been set up at the Helvetia shop, which is something different. Usually we set it up at the Collier pit or when you're at Folks. And then we would bring a load of salt to that pit and then they would have screened sand and we'd blend it right there in the pit. This year, we're taking the screening plant to the Helvetia shop and there we're going to haul the pre-screened sand in and blend it right at that shop. Because we always need a big pile there every year anyway. And then once it's blended, we can truck it to our Larrabee shop rather than haul it from the Collier pit. And then also the Helvetia shop, then it will have its sand. Our Wapaka shop automatically seems to be full every spring. Because when the spring rolls around, we have to take all of that salt sand and put it in a shelter somewhere because the DNR wants it covered. So we haul and fill up our Wapaka shop. So we're trying that a little bit different, saving some trucking costs and reduce our sand costs. I'm sure it'll work because I've done it before in Shawano, but we're just gonna try it here this winter. So that's where, if you see our sand screen operations, that's where it's at. County Highway N project is done for paving this year. And now we're acquiring road right of way for the next segment next year. Crews are installing snow fence, patching potholes, doing some minor brushing around some signs they didn't get to during the summer months. Administration wise, this is worth mentioning, and I maybe want to reference to your last page where it says funding applied for. Right now, we applied for STP urban funding for K, rural funding for W and V. And then we applied for replacing the County K Bridge here north of Wapaka. We applied for a grant through the STP program for 4 of those projects. Where it says STP local not applying, that there's only so much STP money they give to counties and that pot is so small that I'm just gonna not apply for anything in that category this year. Because it would take away from the other ones I would want to do as far as how much is in Wapaka County's STP pot. Then there's our LRIP projects. We're gonna apply CHI money towards County Highway S, which is blank right now, County Highway S from 6th Street in Marion by the dentist office and go to the Shawano County line. And then we're gonna apply the CHI D funding for double E down here from E to A. And then we're gonna apply our CHI S funding, for S. ARIP money, we're gonna apply again for County Highway N from State Highway 22K, which is the project that we put an application in. So you're going now west of Manawa. And that section N going that way towards them big farms.
Okay.
So maybe we can get something awarded there. And then we thought about applying then also for just replacing the box culverts in that segment west of Manawa rather than the whole job. So at least we start the process of getting those pinch points replaced.
Yeah, I don't think much been done there in years.
No. Other stuff that's going on in our construction projects, our ARIP project right here, Bremer and Associates is getting close to their 30% design. We're gonna start looking at that. And we were awarded 3.6 million in grants. Chris has just received 4 invoices for the last 4 months from Bremer that you applied for reimbursement back because they do pay for engineering reimbursement through the ARIP program. A lot of the other programs don't. That are related to LRIP. Next year, the Manawa Rodeo Bridge is getting replaced, so that's been a big project ready to go under construction next year. It's gonna be done after the Manawa Rodeo and after the Iowa Car Show, so that B is open. The Highway E Bridge right here, we had a public information meeting at the Wapaka Town Hall, September 10th. That was good. The public, only 4 people pretty much showed up. It was pretty quiet. And we haven't gotten any comments back since, so we're gonna close in then on the 60% plans for the bridge design here. And widen the one on E, just north of Bow and Arrow. County Highway G from E to Kitzman Road, we pushed it down the road construction wise. That's one of the projects we cut in our budget. So that one is still continuing on with the design, which Kyle has been using the 2025 budget, but it's moving, it just got moved to 2026. Or 2027. County Highway K from Tower Road to 54 is still a joint project we have next year with the city of Wapaka to add that additional turn lane into that subdivision. So Kyle collected some topo there. This winter we'll design that one and be ready to go with it. Double M, he's collecting topo on from 49 out to the Portage County line. And then we'll have him meet with Westwood again and clean up his topo and give us a set of plans. County N from T to Brash Road is needing its second mat of asphalt. We aren't gonna do that until 2027. So 2 years of just one mat of asphalt on that will be good. But then after that, we gotta get it covered, otherwise it'll start to crack at that first mat. County Highway N from Brosh Road to 45. I would say we're a third done with right-of-way acquisition, buying land to widen that road for property owners. So Steigerwald and I have been working diligently here these last 2 weeks, and I've been reviewing their offers and looking at trees. But what a group of people out there that are helping us get that job built. Very vocal with trees. And it wasn't a 4-rod road. They only had a 3-rod road, but we still want to build it up to 80 feet. So imagine now you're taking a bigger chunks of land on a 3-rod road versus a 4-rod road. And there's more impacts. They personally own more than they would have if it was just a 4-rod road. Lot to figure out with that one yet. County Highway 00 from E to 110 needs its second mat of asphalt. That's a job that we pushed off here in 2025 to try to save our budget some when we found H needed extra excavation than anticipated.
Back to they got the poles moved already on N over for.
Nope. So once we acquire all of the land, then we file for every landowner has to be signed off.
Yeah.
And we've bought the land from them. Once that occurs, then the engineering firm files a relocation order with the utility company. And then they can move their poles back to that 40 feet from center line. But they can't do it till we buy all the land. And we're in the process of buying the land through this winter. Yep, so next spring, hopefully all the land's bought. We Energies is well aware that we're doing this project and they budgeted for it and they're ready to hit the ground running, but they won't do it until we buy all the land, which goes back and forth with the negotiations.
Just
Yeah.
I don't know if things pop up, someone builds something.
Yeah. Highway E from N north to Highway 22 is designed. Kyle's got it designed. Ready to build it. That one's gonna be an additional year south of 22. North of 22 is taken off next year. It's good. We get some CHIAS funding to help us reimburse us for the asphalt costs. Our Wapaka River Wetland Mitigation Bank, it's another project our crews have worked on, but it's only been like 2 or 3 guys running bulldozers and prepping the earthwork for next year's tree planting. It's a big project for our county, not just for our department. We've made some down payments to the Wisconsin DNR for their trees, which they only requested a $500 deposit. Alpha Nurseries requested like $11,000 deposit. It was a lot more, and then Chief River Nurseries had an additional amount. So we're getting our trees from Wisconsin Rapids, Grafton, Wisconsin, and Holland, Michigan. And so I talked to Cole Interstate Transport with the reefer trailer. Next year, when it's time to pick up those trees in Holland, Michigan, on a return route coming from the East Coast, he'll swing through Holland, Michigan, get all them pallets loaded, boxes loaded, and then bring them to our Waiwega site and then drop that reefer trailer right there. And it'll sit there to keep our trees cool for the months that we're putting the trees in. O'Brien Wetland Mitigation Site is pretty well done. Chair Morak, and Christy Opperman just helped us sign our construction bonds, which lowered the amount for phase 1 since we've invested in it. And there's no reason to be bonded that high anymore. So we've really significantly reduced that bond amount. Them documents just got mailed back to Babcock Solutions, which is our vendor for our bonds.
How much, can we sell credits for, we'll back off wetland? Have we got any increase in wetland
They haven't
credits?
given us any more credits to sell yet.
Okay.
We're so close. Stuart needs to do a report. The report's been due already for a month. He hasn't turned it in yet.
Okay,
But we've already pretty much sold all the credits we can. I do have 0.78 acres in Lingo right now, which is about whatever 0.78 times 78,000 is. You're looking at a sale coming here pretty soon. I always say pretty soon, but
no,
it's up to
not
the buyer to give us money.
whether we have a chance for more credits, which will help the budget, you know, because it goes into the general fund, it's not ours. Right now, it repays some of our
Expenses.
expenses that will help the county, but trying to keep everybody, the chairman there happy at
Yeah.
you know.
Chief.
On County Trunk, T, that LRIP there. You got reimbursement like 400 and some thousand. Is that what you applied for, or is that what you were awarded, or?
They just awarded it to us. Every county
I know you get
automatically,
so much money.
we didn't even have to apply for it, so to speak. The state says the 18 county region that he references, he says, all right, 18 counties, you get this much money, you decide where it goes. So of
I was
the,
curious how.
of the 18 counties, you've got your north central region, which is the northern counties in our 18 counties, and you got the south 9. And so us south 9 had a certain dollar amount, and we just split it all evenly. It already was kind of given to us.
I was just curious.
And we just had to apply it towards it.
I wanted some of that money in my township. No, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanna mention hours?
And our work hours, yeah, so today is the last day of our 8 hour work, 10 hour work days. Next week, Monday, we start 8, work Friday.
We're right.
That's it.
We're crying.
We're crying.
Yeah, they're trying behind you there because they gotta come to work on a Friday.
5 days a week.
Like every normal person, come to work 5 days a week.
Well, you got Thursday, Friday off next week.
We ease into it.
And then they've got Christmas, and then they've got New Year's.
And all of Jan.
Then they gotta be here all in January, and then February we go back to 10. But the reason we do December and January is because that Friday morning, the 2 coldest winter days, I want trucks on the road when schools are moving and stuff. But then February, you gotta depend on your guy on calls. Make sure everyone's out on Friday morning. God, I got a lot of questions on that one from our staff this year. Why don't we just go year round? I don't want to. I've never got to see my kids.
Yeah.
I've never seen my kids in the morning coming to work. That sucks.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm here by 5:45, 5:59. And my kids aren't awake yet, so I miss it.
It's your choice. You can be a stay-at-home mom.
What I'm gonna bring up next is just where we sit with our financials, municipalities that we have service agreements with in 2024 compared to our now 2025. We have a significant increase, and I think Supervisor Federowitz felt this a little bit at the towns meeting. I was pushing for an increase. We needed help. And now we had a $1,115,000 increase. That's huge. The town of Caledonia really helped us with that park project. I could say help them numbers. And then those municipalities that we don't have snow plowing service agreements with, we're still up $57,000 worth of work with those. Overall, the municipalities have given us, including materials in here yet, an increase of $1,172,000 compared to last year. That's awesome.
Oh, Helvetia will go up this time.
Helvetia will be an increase. If we go up to Helvetia, so we currently don't have a service agreement with Helvetia. Just this last year, they hired us for almost $30,000 worth of work, which is good. Even Town of Royalton did an excellent job with $85,000. We don't have to outfit our operations with the snowplow truck and but they are knocking on our door right now too to provide snowplowing services. If Fultz backs out or quits, well then I gotta ask you guys what you wanna do. Take them on or not?
Yeah.
Alright, the next one we've got is where we sit with the equipment revenue over expenses compared to the year before. And so if you look at our expenses, they could be a truck engine blew up or something significant occurred. So in October of this year, way at the bottom of October, we've actually had a decrease compared to the year before. The only reason that I can say that we had a decrease, summer was excellent to us, but it was a more mild snow plowing season. So if we aren't plowing a lot of snow, all that iron's sitting and not generating revenue, but the expense of depreciation is there. The expense of storing it is there. There's a lot of expenses that come along with just it sitting idle. This is just a breakdown of what Mike Kretschmer mentioned before of routine maintenance. Our budget amount for the year of 2025 was $3,761,000. Oh, sorry, this is county stuff, right? Or is this state?
This is a county, yeah.
Yeah, this is county. So we have a maintenance budget of $3,761,000. We've had expenses of $3,077,000. As of October, almost all of November isn't in here yet, right?
Just out to the 6th.
Right, so guess what happens come November? The state says stay off of our system unless it plows snow, so those guys go on our county budget. The towns say don't go on our town road projects, so guess what happens to all our town guys? They go on our county budget. So it starts chewing our county budget pretty rapidly in November and December, unless it snows, then we're doing good because our guys are now chargeable to something else. We do chew on it quite a bit here the next 2 months. This top category is a breakout of all of our maintenance projects, and on the bottom is all of our summer projects. Heidi groups it all together as transportation services anyway, so overall, we had a budget grand total between maintenance and construction of $9,476,000. We've spent $8,974,000 of it, meaning that there's $501,000 remaining on our budgets for this year. Which is good. If you want to look at what we did throughout the year in a snapshot, mid-year, we decided not to put the second mat of asphalt on County Highway 00 from E to 110. We adjusted the numbers to make them look good there, so don't be confused with that. We stole money to rob Peter to make the other ones look good. But we decided not to put the second mat of asphalt on because Highway H had additional EBS excavating that occurred on it, which overran that budget $222,000 compared to bid. That was something we didn't want to do. So right now in our construction budget, the bottom half of that chart, we ran it over 68,000. If we have a bad snow plowing in December and we run the budget overall, Heidi says you're going to take it from your highway operations checking account, our actual operations fund balance, to cover your overages in 2025, which sits pretty healthy at 2.8 million ish right now. So that's our checking account balance. They would take the money out of.
Highway H was a project from 96-110 going up south out of Fremont. They ran into some mud, soft roads and replaced culverts.
We had to EBS it out or the pavement went to hell. So we did about $200,000 with additional excavating to harden up before the contractor to pave it. Otherwise, they weren't gonna
It
stamp.
was unexpected. It was an unexpected cost.
Unexpected, yeah.
So the engineers didn't know about it?
No. And one of the
Fire
specifications,
the engineer, no.
Yeah, right.
one of the specifications in that job, which I fought from the beginning in the state of Wisconsin, who trumped me. Basically, I wanted all new virgin gravel. So they built their earth subgrade. We anticipated gravel, fresh 1.25 inch crushed from MCC or limestone, wherever it came from, to get put on there. Well, the contractor said, we have permission to pulverize County Highway H and use those asphalt millings as a supplement to that 1.25 inch fresh gravel. And it rained and it rained and it rained in April. And the subgrade got saturated and they're putting this freaking asphalt millings on to substitute good 1.25 inch gravel. And then when they brought their fleet of trucks across, it started pumping. And then they have to EBS and dig it all out and then haul in all new 1.25 inch anyway. So I got real upset in a meeting on that one, but what do I do? That was the state spec and the contractor could do that and they approved the contractor to do it. But when they had to do the unexpected EBS excavating, they got paid 3 times the normal cost for that job. So that got fought for the longest time too. Then live and learn. Put it in the specifications right up front that they are not allowed to use their asphalt millings as a supplement to 1.25 inch.
Now we know who that contractor was, and do they have a reputation of trying to?
No, they're gonna go for every penny they can. That's their job, is to make money.
Yeah.
But they followed the DOT's guidelines, and this job fell underneath the DOT guideline job because we had a $500,000 BIL grant, so it had to be administered and going through the DOT process. Even though I fought it, the soils engineers all came out that spring, they looked at what they were getting in. The DOT soil engineers out of the Northeast region came in
DOT.
before there was even a problem. And then all of a sudden May shows around like, hey guys, here's your problem. We built jobs in clay in that area. We know what's gonna happen, but
That's clay.
it's clay. It's just crappy, wet, saturated clay.
I know it's
All of them houses have sump pumps in them along that river.
80-foot wells. Oh, not.
For 10.
Number 10 is the most important one. Yeah.
I have to read all that?
Please.
Okay, pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.851C concerning employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governing body has justification to exercise responsibility, to wit, highway commissioner evaluation. I need a roll call vote and a motion to do so.
Move to go to closed session.
I'll second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Roll call.
Oh, that's right, yes. Nygaard.
Yes.
Who else we got here? We got Roan.
Yes.
Yeah, Jaeger.
Yes.
Muck, yes. Dog is missing. We are going into closed session, so I'm sorry, but you have to leave. And thank you for coming.
Yeah,
Yes, thanks for coming.
Jenny.
He comes to all the board meetings, I'm sorry.
Lives across the street.
Chris,